Hi, Greg Jerem here, CEO of Net Return Marketing, and I have a couple things that I want to share with you in this video. Specifically, we're going to cover the difference between custom e-commerce solutions and commercial e-commerce solutions, and what to look out for as a business owner, and how to find the one that's appropriate to your needs. The most important thing in making this decision, this is the first decision that you're going to make in finding your e-commerce solution, basically deciding if you want to have someone build it for you from scratch with a custom solution, or if you want to go the route of, which is typically a much less expensive route, but sometimes can be limiting depending on your needs, of working with an already built commercial solution where they already have most of the kinks worked out and you're just fitting your e-commerce store into their solution. The number one thing that you need to do to make a good decision in this area is you need to know what your needs are. Most e-commerce business owners that I've worked with, it takes them quite a while to figure out exactly what they need. And usually at that point, they're pretty invested in a system. Sometimes they have years invested in a system, and then there's the painful process of then trying to get into another store, which can take months and a lot of time and energy, and certainly a lot of financial investment. So again, it's really important to know your needs up front before you invest in the solution, and especially in making the decision about a commercial solution versus a custom solution. How do you know your needs? Good question. So my number one suggestion is to go out onto the internet and research your competitors. Look at the area of e-commerce that you want to enter. Go onto Google and go and click on, well, you don't have to click on, but you can go and research some of your competitors by visiting their websites. If you click on their ads, just don't tell them that I told you to do that. Yeah, and go out and visit their websites and see, what do their stores look like? What kind of functionality do they have? What do they do which you like? What do they do which you think can be improved upon? Compare one versus the other. At first, this is a little bit intimidating because it's a pretty dense area of information, especially if you're new to e-commerce. But even if you're not new, it's a pretty dense area of information. But if you invest at least 30 minutes to an hour in this way, take some detailed notes, you'll have a much more specific understanding of what you need in your store, or what kind of upgrades you might want to make to your current store, and then what the appropriate solution is. So very important, research your competitors and get a very specific idea of what you need, all the way from the front end to the back end of your shopping cart. So the second part to finding, which is going to be better for you, a custom solution or a commercial solution, and this is going to apply for the other aspects of this decision as well, but it is to shop around. If you're considering custom development, talk to a few developers. Have them explain to you why their solution is going to be best for you. Same for the commercial as well. Typically you'll find people who are very willing and eager to talk to you, and if you really keep them on track, they can very quickly get to the point of what you need. And the better you understand what you need, the more you can structure those conversations so you can get the most out of them. When I've gone out and done this research myself for clients, within 10 or 15 minutes of talking to 3 or 4 different people, you can get an incredible amount of information. A lot of these people who are either custom developers or representatives of commercial solutions are they're really knee-deep into their product. They have a lot to say about it, and if you really understand the information that you need to get from them, you can pull it out of them pretty quickly. It's a lot faster sometimes than actually going out and trying to pull this off of their websites or research it on a broad basis. It's just to tap into their brains, what they know, and specifically get them to answer your questions and really feel out what's going to be best for you. So specifically with commercial solutions, pros and cons. So there's definitely some very strong points to commercial solutions and some areas where they're not going to be as strong. Most people, I'll just say this as a blanket statement because this is my experience in working with e-commerce business owners, and I've worked with over 50 over the last 3 years, anywhere from businesses that are under $1 million gross a year to a few businesses that are doing 20, 30, 40, 50 million gross a year, so a wide range. But typically, commercial solutions can fit almost all of those needs. Now the commercial solution that you get is crucial, and that's not the point of this particular video. We're going to cover that more in detail later. But a commercial solution can typically fit your needs. The advantages to a commercial solution over a custom one are typically lower costs. Sorry for the pause there. Just ran out of water, had to get myself some water. So again, the advantages of a commercial solution are typically going to be lower costs. Typically what you have with a commercial solution is a system that for the good ones, now again, it's really buyer beware here as well, but for the good ones, they've already worked out most of the kinks of what you need to accomplish what you're going to do with your e-commerce store. So it's just a matter of finding the one that's really best for your business and most fits your needs from the research you've already done. So, it's the difference between writing a book yourself and just pulling a book off the bookshelf, an off-the-shelf commercial solution that pretty well fits your needs. Now, sometimes even with the better with the better commercial solutions, sometimes also there's a degree of customization you can do, and again, that's something you want to look at very carefully as well too, because sometimes that comes at a pretty heavy cost because you have to use their developers to do it. But there's other types of commercial e-commerce solutions where you don't have to use their developers to do it, where they'll allow you to bring in your own developers and give you access either to all the source code or to a portion of the source code. And for the source code, what I mean by that is the actual coding language that drives the e-commerce store and shopping cart. So again, commercial solutions, typically you can have a lower cost, and also often everything you need is already in the store. So for most e-commerce business owners, a commercial solution is going to be the way to go. It's just a question of finding the right one. Custom solutions. So I'm not down on custom solutions. I've just seen a lot of e-commerce business owners, especially ones starting out, get sold down the river with these. The problem with custom solutions is this. Typically people who sign up for custom solutions, the way I see this come about is they come to us and they're wanting help with marketing and they've already built their e-commerce store. And what's happened is they've done a limited amount of research and their first contact, their first trusted resource is a developer. Now most developers out there who are developing e-commerce stores are not e-commerce developers. Let me repeat that. They're not e-commerce developers. They're just developing a store here or there. It sounds like this would not be something that's common, but it's completely common, and I can't tell you how disastrous it can be. A good 20 to 30% of the clients I've worked with have signed up with a developer who they've explained their needs to, and they've built them a custom e-commerce solution from scratch, which in most cases was not only not necessary and a huge expenditure beyond what they really needed to do, but it was also didn't even fit their basic needs, and for an ongoing solution it didn't work properly. So you want to really be careful in this area. Some of you watching this may need a custom solution. You may already have a very developed e-commerce presence and you have more complex needs that you know are going to need to be coded from scratch. For example, if you have a very custom couponing system or a very intricate cross-sell, upsell system, which you're just not finding in any commercial solution out there, it may well make sense to do custom development. Then of course you want to make sure the custom developer that you hire is an e-commerce developer. He's been there, he's done that, he knows exactly what you need, he can help intuit your needs and really keep the project within a reasonable cost, but nail exactly what you need. So again, just to wrap up here, this is just like being very cautionary here because there's some real dangers of way over investing and not even getting what you need. The danger when you're talking to a custom developer is here's someone who wants work, who's motivated to get work. They're probably a very skilled developer, so they figure they're just going to go out and build this thing for you, and maybe they've done it once or twice before. Typically, that's not going to work out well, and it's not going to satisfy your needs. You need someone who knows e-commerce, and typically you can find what you need in a commercial solution, which you'll pay much, much less for.